This is the SanifloStore. We're going to give you some quick tips to installing your new Saniflo system. This is the SaniBest Pro. It's our heavy-duty 1 horsepower grinder. This is what I'm installing in my house because I have 3 kids and they don't listen to me, and pretty much anything could end up down this toilet. So I want to be sure that I have the best possible pump out there. So that's what I went with. So tip number 1, the vent line. The vent system needs to be a free air vent. Studio vents and mechanical vents will not work. They only allow air in. They will not allow air out. And the pump actually needs to be able to breathe. So it needs to be able to pull air and push air. So you'll see right here, it's an 1.5-inch vent line. Mine comes up. Mine is actually a wet vent system, which I'll go through at the end of this video to show you just how that is laid out. But again, a free air vent must be used. Tip number 2, the discharge line. There cannot be any 90-degree turns on this line. Any hard 90s. If you need to make a 90-degree turn, you need to use 245s to create the 90. So on mine, I'm using an 18-inch flex line comes with it. So what I'm going to do is create a nice sweeping turn up, just like this. Then I'm going to go to 1-inch PVC. Right here will be a ball valve that I can isolate the pump off if I ever need to. And we're going to go up about 7 feet. There'll be 245s creating the 90. And then a horizontal run with then another 45 dumping down into my waistline. So real simple. I'm only going up about 7 or 8 feet, and then over probably 2 or 3 feet. So real simple. But be sure that there are no hard 90s in that line. Sometimes people will install them and the pump will work fine for 2 years and then we'll start to have problems. But inevitably it's because of those 90s. So again, sweeping turns only on the discharge line. And install that ball valve. It's a smart idea. Again, right as you start the PVC, just put a little ball valve here that you can isolate it off. So tip number 3, this little tiny hole in the top right here. This is a vent hole which is not used in the United States and needs to be plugged. With your system comes a little clear plug. Just set it on and then push it in with the palm of your hand and it'll seat down in there nice to create a seal so you don't allow any exit of any odors or anything into the living space. So tip number 4, this is a big one. My plumber screwed this one up last night. So this is the pan gasket. It's an expensive gasket, so be careful with it. It has 2 sides to it. The side to the pump is the small side with a heavy-duty channel, and the side to the bowl or the extension pipe is the larger side. This is very stretchy, not so much here. So again, the small side to the pump. I came home last night and my plumber had the large side to the pump. And it didn't look right to me, and I took it off, and I'll be reseating it. I'll make a video of that as well. But again, small side to the pump, it locks down in this channel. I see the channel right in here. It'll lock down in there, and then you just put a zip tie on it. It's not a pressure situation, so you don't. It's not going to be dealing with any high pressures, so the zip tie is just fine, just to hold it in that channel. So, another tip. The shower base. My shower base is a 2x6 platform. So it gives me about 5.5 inches of lift. And then I'm going to have plywood on top of that. I have about a 12-foot run over to my pump. So that the shower line itself has to have gravity fall of at least 1/4 inch per foot. My line is vented, which you can see right there. And what I did to minimize my platform height is we notched out the concrete below where the P-trap is going to sit. Essentially, that's going to gain me about 2 inches of space, somewhere around there. So, I'll have a pretty normal step up to this step right here, which is going to be a teak step. And then I have about a 2-inch step up into the shower. So it's going to look nice once it's done. And I'll cut a video of it, the final product, once it's done as well. So back to the venting situation. There's my shower line. Comes all the way over to the SaniBest. Right in the middle, it picks up my sink, where my sink is going to be. The sink, this is the vent line, which comes up. And that vent line is going to come up and over. And then it picks up the SaniBest Pro's line. Again, that vent line leaves the SaniBest Pro. And again, it goes up, over, and it taps the same line. It essentially just creates a big air loop. And that line is going to come over to my main. And it's going to tap into my main at the top right there, where it's not going to take in any water. In my setup, I also have it picking up another vent line for a SaniVite or a SaniCom, which will be installed just as a corner sink over here. Most likely going to be the SaniCom because that can take a direct connection from my wash machine. So again, that is an example of the wet vent. Taps into the main at the top, and it's perfectly legal in this area. Just check your local code if you can use wet venting. And again, the SaniBest Pro, another tip on the bottom, there's rubber feet which need to be installed prior to the pump being secured down. My pump is secured down. There's little straps in the back right there which secure it to the ground. You want to do that with the rubber feet to minimize any sound. I'm going to be insulating this wall in between as well with some sound insulation. But that'll just help minimize any sound heard in the bathroom. It gives for much nicer installation. You'll be happy down the line if you do it for sure. So that's it for today. Again, this is the SanifloStore. If you have any questions at all, feel free to call us at the office, 866-658-0505. Thank you.